What's up, everybody? Today I'm excited to go all in with two amazing combat sports athletes. Desiree, the Muay Thai princess, Wodicker, and knockout sensation, UFC featherweight, Gastón, the dream killer, Bolaños. We're talking about grit, grind, and their secrets to building powerhouse brands both inside and outside of the cage. You definitely don't want to miss this one. And if you're enjoying this content, give me a like, follow, subscribe. Always looking forward to getting people's feedback. Love all the support and so thankful for everyone who loves this content as well. Now, Desiree, Wodicker, and Gastón Bolaños, let's get it. Welcome back to Fight Capital, where we enter the ring of combat sports business. I'm your host, Ryan Rappaport. Today I am joined by two powerhouse athletes, Desiree, the Muay Thai princess, Wodicker, a world champion Muay Thai practitioner, and Gastón, the dream killer, Bolaños, a UFC featherweight known for his brutal knockouts. Both fighters have carved unique paths in combat sports, with Desiree inspiring others through mental and physical empowerment, while Gastón continues to dominate with his lethal striking and versatile MMA game. Together, they'll share their stories of resilience, building their brands, and what it takes to succeed inside and outside of the ring. Thanks, both of you, for joining me today. How are you and where are you joining from?
Hey, thanks so much, Ryan. Yes, we're excited to be here. We are located in the Bay Area, California, so a little bit outside of San Francisco.
Well, I saw the seminar that y'all were just recently doing down in Gilroy, so I figured you were in the area there, but big fans of the content y'all both have been putting out, and Gastón, I've been following your career for a while now. You both just have this real strong martial arts spirit, which you don't see in a whole lot of fighters and combat sports athletes out there today. I'm just curious, with the content you're putting out and the competition, how do you balance staying authentic to your martial arts roots while continuing to build a brand that appeals to those broader audiences and content consumers?
Yeah, branding has been a huge part of our conversation, I feel like, over the last year.
I did not like it, just to put it out there. It's been like like you said, like I've been a martial artist like my whole life since I was 10 years old when I started this game in Peru, and ever since I treat it the same way like as I did when I was a 10, 12-year-old kid fighting. I don't really care for it, but this has brought like a huge, like I was already kind of working on it, but it's been really easy with her. Like,
no, he's good. He's good, Ryan.
We've been collaborating.
Yeah,
we've been collaborating, but I'm all about just make it as natural as possible. Like, if anything, just pick up the camera. Like, I don't mind when it happens like that, but I don't like things to be staged. I like it to be real,
natural,
as natural as possible. You know, it's hard to balance it out, but like I said, when you have a person that you can collaborate with that has the cameras and the tools and knows how, such as Desiree, it's been really easy, you know?
We have these things, what do we call them? The brainstorming?
Think tanks.
Oh yeah, we have these sessions where we call them think tank sessions. And like, man, we just kind of like brainstorm about all stuff, not just content, but like business ideas. Like the seminar you saw us do, you know, we've been thinking about how we can create, these types of events on a long-term basis, not just one-offs or whatever. How can we help create the brand and the things that we want to stand for? And we love martial arts, right? And it's something that we enjoy doing. So it's like, hey, how do we create a business out of it? How do we do all of these things? And yeah, so we're kind of putting the pieces together, but it's really easy when you both like train and you have the eye for those things. So like he'll be training in a session, we don't even think about recording or anything, and I'll just see he's like on, you know, like I can just rip and pads and I like pick up my camera real quick because like I want to catch it, and then he'll go back into his videos and do editing, and like he knows what he wants to see, and he knows like what are the strikes that he does that are really well. So yeah, it's kind of cool.
Well, I think you hit the nail on the head there, in that it's those moments that people love to see. And I abuse the word authentic, but I just really don't have a better word for it in terms when you're talking about combat sports athletes and how the public gravitates towards them. For example, I have a friend who sponsors Andre Arlovsky, and he takes him out to the NFL Hall of Fame induction, and you have NFL Hall of Famers walking up to him being like, let me get a photo. Like, people know Andre Arlovsky. It's like, not that he has the real kind of video or conversational talent, but people know who he is and they just gravitate towards that authenticity. So I think there's definitely something there, and what you all are projecting out into the sphere of the socials is always important. I noticed that y'all have had a pretty good run in securing sponsorships. And, when you talk about the content and that authenticity, I know that that level of content creation is always important. But what strategies have you found have been most effective in securing those sponsorships? And how do you choose which partners and brands that you want to work with?
Well, I definitely, like you were saying, staying authentic and true to yourself and into your brand and to who you are, is very important. And also, like, aligning with brands that it's going to be easy to do that with, like, you don't want to go, I mean, you can if you're interested in that, and go out of your realm. But if you want to, like brands and people to come organically, and it has to be organic. You have to align with brands that you fully support and not just go after the money, because it's super easy, like, for a brand to come up to you and be like, hey, like, we're going to offer this and that. But if you deep down know that brand is not going to align with the things that you're putting out there, then it's going to seem forced and it's not going to be a good relationship, So it's important to, definitely align with brands that align with you.
Yeah, we've had certain brands like, whether it's food or, alcohol brands, and they were willing to pay a lot of money. And because like for me, I have alcoholism in my family and I don't drink often. And so, like, that's not something that I want to carry. I know it's popular. I know you've got McGregor's of the world promoting, I don't stand for that. And I don't know. So we've turned down a lot of stuff that doesn't make sense. But it's also important, I think, for athletes to, because we've gone through this exercise, which is, understanding what your brand, like, literally writing down on paper, like, this is who I am, this is what I stand for, this is what this entire empire is all about, which is yourself, you know what I mean? And then from there, you can start being creative. Well, these are the products that I like, these are the products that I like that align with me, right? So it's like a multi-step process that you have to go through. You can't just, I can pick and choose, like, the most popular out here because that's what that athlete is. He's also had sponsors that you would never, like, what's the buildings in Peru? And we stayed, like, the most interesting sponsors. Like, there's a huge builder out in Peru when we went there.
Yeah, and we had to, for my last fight, we had to do my whole camp basically out there. We had some problem with my coach and his visa and that kind of situation. So we went out there, and we literally had a place that does buildings and rents them out, type of, like, sponsor us and give us a place for a whole month,
And you asked for it.
Yeah, and that was super helpful, like, that made the whole camp a lot easier.
And you got to ask for the money. Like, I've been in wealth management for 13 years, and we have this saying that's saying ask for the money. Like, you have to ask for the money. You have to be, I think, your ego and your, you have to be able to say, hey, I need this. How can I support you? And then how can I add value if you do support me, right? So those are also really important. I mean, we've both sat here and looked at a list of brands. I mean, I've looked at 30, 40 something brands, and if they made sense or I really liked their products, like, we would reach out to them on Instagram. We would initiate the conversation. Hey, I really love your brand. I think that we can align really well with the content. Like, how can we work together, right? Do you have a budget for that? And those things, So there's a lot of behind the scenes. Like, you have to hunt for it. Like, I'm wearing this brand. These are my sponsors. If you will hunt, right?
I just I've been getting overwhelmed by their social stuff. Sean Brady's I get all these collaboration posts with, like, Sean Brady and stuff like that. So that's funny. I didn't even notice it until you just said that.
Yeah. So, like, and that's the other thing. But, like, they have this saying, right? This slogan, like, I'm a hunter, and, like, I believe that we translate that into real life. And, like, you have to be a hunter, not just, like, in the ring or in the cage. You have to be a hunter. Like, you're running a actual business. It's not just, hey, we're fighting. This is a career, and you're an entrepreneur. So you got to hunt. You got to turn on your hunting cap.
I don't think a lot of athletes understand that. Everyone wants to have the manager that's going to go out and do that for them, and they can focus on there. But in the end, like you said, you are a business owner and you are your business.
And nobody's going to sell you better than you're going to sell yourself. And not even, like, how much your manager knows you. I believe that, because And then managers, they all have the roster of fighters, you know, so they have by default, they just have a lot of people that they're working with, you know. So sometimes you're not always going to get exactly what you want, which you're gonna have to go out there and work a little bit, and you know, and do the things that you got to do.
Well, I think from the casuals looking in, I don't think people understand how much goes into even just preparing for a fight and the amount of money that takes to fund a training camp. You mentioned the going out into Peru and being there with your coach, which kudos to you for having that relationship and that loyalty. But what are some of the other creative ways you managed to fund your training and your fight camps?
Like I said, I started this journey when I was 10 years old. So all throughout high school, after high school, I moved out of my parents' house when I was 16 to live with my coach, you know, and his family. And after that, I was working 3 jobs just to support this dream. You know, I wasn't fighting even professionally at the time. 21, went pro, but I went pro in Muay Thai, you know, so even then, and for anyone starting this journey, like, don't expect that it's going to be a professional fighter and this is where it's going, you know. You're going to have to, it's a whole process.
I mean, he just came from a private. Like, he has a lot of, he does a lot of privates.
I'm constantly working, you know,
Yeah.
to this day, and I'm a UFC bantamweight, and it's part of the game, you know.
Yeah. The other part I think is really important is, and I've seen this, it's so crazy because I didn't come from, like Gastón, he has 18 something plus years of experience. For me, I don't have that background, you know what I mean? So everything for me is like business sense. And I have this creative aspect to me that I really like to dive into. But the thing that I've noticed over the last like 8-9 years, almost everybody that I've come across that's a martial artist is they have, first of all, they're special. They have these athletic capabilities, but there's always something else to them that they have, a skill, right? Like my one teammate, I'm going to bring up my one teammate, Amber. She's a phenomenal artist, you know, like she can draw very good. I have another friend who is like, you know, an expert in like survival and stuff. Like there's a lot of things, like other components to, you know,
I
these
mean, talk
athletes.
about Kai
Yeah.
Hollenbeck. I don't know if you ever seen him fight, but
No, I'm not familiar with him.
he was, you know, he fought pro MMA, pro Muay Thai, world champion, fought in K1, Glory. He's a firefighter. He can play the piano.
Yeah, no, he can literally do it. And he's a
he's-
chef.
Yeah,
Like
he's really, really smart.
family comes from doctors. Yeah.
Yeah.
But my point is like everybody has more talents than just fighting. And so it's like if you are a fighter, I encourage you to like write down a list of 25 to 50 things that you are good at outside of fighting, and then think about how can I make money. There's so many platforms today, Fiverr, Upwork, all of these things where you can go and offer your services as a freelancer, right? That you can make work with your job. And if you really stick at it, you can be successful. I've had friends be successful at those things, you know?
Well, it's funny because this just came up. I had an interview with the PFL European champ, Jacob Kazuba. He's a full-time auditor in the state of Florida, and the thing that he brought up was, hey, this is not a job. This is an opportunity. It's something Dana White has said several times too. This is an opportunity. It's not a job. And I don't think people understand how many fighters have to have careers outside the rings and that side hustle. How do you manage your time between that training and all the other professional endeavors you both are doing?
It's tough.
It's tough.
We are really, really busy. Yeah, we're really busy. Gastón trains a little bit more than I do because he has grappling. He travels a lot too. He goes all the way to San Francisco and all the way to Sacramento, which is like an hour and a half, 45 minutes, goes to San Jose. I travel a little bit, but he's, you know, definitely juggling between those things. Yeah. And for me, it's a little different because I have a lot of computer work and a lot of things that I need to do. You know, we have to make time. Like he just did, you know, his private this morning, came back.
Between teaching, driving, training, getting everything done, you know.
We have to be disciplined, and it's hard.
And I have to, like, I can never wake up and just go about my day. Like, I need to know on Sunday night, what I'm doing through Saturday.
Yeah.
You know, till it's rest time, maybe.
We have calendars. We talk about our days, what's happening the next day. You know, he and I are pretty cohesive when it comes to that. We'll be like, hey, I got this time, this time. I mean, there's times too where like we'll go to 12:30 striking practice and I'll come home and I have a wealth management financial planning meeting right after, you know?
And I'm coming home from Sacramento from wrestling with my coach Danny Castillo for a couple hours, you know, and we're kind of just like crossing and I'm like, hey, okay.
Yeah, in one way, we both go in different directions.
Yeah, and I have a 13-year-old son, you know, so like this morning we shoved it. He had late start, so we shoved him out the door and, you know, got our stuff together. So it's a collective effort, and both of us are really, really busy, and so we have to respect those things and support each other. But yeah, it is challenging going from. It's not an easy task for anybody. There's days we're tired and we're like, you know what? I can't do this, or I need to rest, or I need a nap, 20 minutes, 30 minutes in between. He's really good at that. I need like an hour or two.
Yeah.
Well, you both have done obviously a great job inside the ring, and what you've done to translate that to outside of the ring, there's, from what I can tell, it's been a complete and utter process of building this online presence. And I think people recognize how important it is, but very few people execute on it. How do you approach that job, that, you know, third, fourth, fifth job that you have of building and maintaining that online presence? Hey everyone, quick favor to ask. Did you know that nearly 80% of the people tuning in right now aren't subscribed yet? That subscribe button down below is what powers me every week to keep putting out these podcasts. Big shout out and thank you to everyone that's been supporting me for this. I couldn't do it without you. If you're enjoying the content, please subscribe below. It means the world to me. And for everyone supporting me, thank you so much. Now back to the show.
Yeah. Well, I will say we just got to the point right now where we've been able to outsource some things. Like before, we've been doing everything on our own. And like I said, I mean, there's so many things that make it easy nowadays. So if there are some things like editing content, stuff like, and we'll be like, hey, does this look good? We'll bounce ideas off each other. But we're now getting to a point where we're like, okay, I don't need this task. Like we need to outsource this to somebody, or we need to get somebody to do this for us, or how do we simplify to make it more efficient? But yeah, it is a job. It is a job. Editing, I'm editing, he knows. I'm editing all the time, sometimes till midnight, sometimes, you know, it's what I'm doing all day. Like we have so much content, but we have to keep filming the content and keep putting stuff out there so that we have it, you know?
For me, that portion I do take day by day. Like I will go some days without posting and I'm okay with it, you know, like, but I have done like certain times that I'll post every day and I'll just give myself like 30 minutes or like 20, like an hour, you know? I'm just gonna get this done real quick and then I'm gonna go on about my day. But yeah, I don't focus too much time on it. It's very, like I said, for me it's very organic. It's a very organic.
Yeah.
Like she'll pick up the camera and like, or I'm like, hey, record this combo. And that will be for something in like a couple of days, and like that, like I'll go off of like stuff that I have had from like a couple of days before, and just go day by day with it.
Yeah, but you have to put the camera up, and you have to just.
But it does take that. Like before, I would like I'm training. Like I don't need.
And I'm like, no, we have to do this. You need to do this. It's so good. You have so much. Like with Gastón, what we're working on too is like humanizing him, because he's first of all, such a creative human being. And again, as we talk about talents and stuff like that, like he's given me so many ideas about my business, and having someone to like bounce ideas off, that's always so good, you know? Like if you don't have a partner and you need a friend or someone or a mentor or something, seek that out to just create a soundboard of, you know, ideas and things like that. You know, luckily we have each other. We're both left-handed and whatever. But yeah, I mean, there's even times like, ooh, this is a good idea, but not everybody's like that, you know? You have to leverage tools, things like ChatGPT or like whatever, to like create this for you.
Well, I mean, you mentioned the mentoring thing. It sounds like, obviously, having been coached, you understand the value of a coach. How has mentoring others impacted your own career growth, and how do you find the time to give back?
Yeah.
We're doing it right now. I mean,
Yeah.
like I have a 16-year-old brother, and he fights in 3 weeks.
Yes.
Oh wow.
She has a 13-year-old son.
Yes.
You
Well,
know,
we've had
and
like
he's starting
kids.
basketball, and just I mean,
Yeah.
there's a lot of that. There's also a lot of the younger generation at the gym, that sometimes it just something nice to say, a compliment, or even like guidance, and
Yeah,
it is giving back. It is
intentional
giving back, for
guidance,
sure, yeah.
like we were just saying, he just said yesterday, because he had a private with a little girl. She was 7 years old. It was actually one of his clients and his daughter,
Yeah.
and she was off for the holiday. And Gaston has been doing privates with young kids over the last month, like a lot more.
Yeah, like just teenager, and like it's super, like the level of talent too, like they're
a blank
good,
canvas,
but they're good. They're like, they move how you see adults move now.
Yeah.
Like the level of talent from the kids is crazy.
Yeah.
So they come to me, and I'm like, wow, like these kids are just like really good.
Yeah.
Scary, right?
We were just at the seminar actually in Gilroy, California, and there was a young boy out there. There were two young boys partnered with each other, and one of the boys, they were both very good, but one of them, you could tell he was very confident, and he was, throwing his strikes. He was very good, and the other one was a little timid. And I literally get down to his level, and I was like, hey, I need you to be brave. We're training right now, and you're brave. I need you to be brave. And like his whole world lit up. Martial arts is already in place to teach these kids confidence, and already their discipline, confidence, all the good things that you could think to be put in a child, you can get through martial arts. But sometimes you need, like, you have to be paying attention. Your eyes have to be peeled, and if you're in this position of gratitude and serving, then you'll see these things more than if I could have just walked by and not even noticed that this kid was a little bit timid. And yeah, I think it changed his day. It was really crazy.
I think people really underestimate the power of martial arts, particularly. I trained martial arts starting at 4 years old. Even up until I'm almost 40, into my late 30s, I've had times where I've been so heavily impacted, it's literally life-changing, life-saving. So I always tell people, hey, if you're going through a hard time, or if your kids are having a hard time, or they're hyperactive, put them in a jiu-jitsu class, put them in a Muay Thai class. You will be thankful that you did that as it further comes down the line. And I really think it's about overcoming as well, and we live in a very comfortable world these days, and I don't think a lot of people have faced those challenges that you run into just training, whether it's not getting choked out or pushing past exhaustion. I know both of you have faced challenges inside and out of your careers. Can you just share how you've turned those challenges into opportunities for growth?
Yeah.
I mean, you start like you were saying, like we live in a very comfortable world these days, and like doing hard things and facing challenges becomes more uncommon for this generation. So I definitely agree with you. It's important that if you have a kid, if you have a brother or someone that you see needs guidance and needs martial arts is definitely the way. It's definitely gonna bring something into your life. Is gonna allow you to face adversity every day, because that's what you do every day, and you learn to overcome those challenges, and it just becomes like, it really wires you to treat life differently, because they say life is 10% what happens to us, 90% how we respond, and that's what martial arts is all about, just responding to things, the techniques and with the morals that you learn every single day.
Yeah. And this last year, honestly, Ryan, like both of us have, well, I'd say the last year and a half, I was considering a career change and just creating a new life of purpose for myself, because I felt that I become so stuck in this one way path, which for me, I've never fallen in between those grid lines, and I'm like, I'm just not happy with the way things are, and I want to make a change for that. And so there's been failures on my career side that have opened my eyes to say, hey, maybe it's not, maybe I need to make an adjustment, maybe I need to do other things. And so fast forward a year and a half later, I'm running two businesses. Everything is really busy, but I'm enjoying where my feet are, you know. Makes the struggle and the adversities easier because I'm doing things that are coming from a purposeful place. Gaston earlier this year, it was tough because he had a bout and a loss, and there was like just watching him this last year or so has been really, I'm super proud of him. You know, like he started working with a mindset coach and things on his attitude and all of that perception and mindset. And I've seen like huge strides in him, and it's been really cool to watch his journey in that. Both of us, like crazy.
Yeah, that's so important. I think we want to discount what it means to overcome adversity, but it is a very important thing to take those L's. We're not always going to be winning in life or in the ring, and so to be able to move past that, I think that's where real growth comes. And it's amazing to hear that you're both looking into the future and stepping up to address that head on, because what else can we do, you know, other than taking 10 steps back, which still happens, but it's that progression forward. You both are amazing role models, not just for the sport, but outside of it. What advice would you give to young athletes looking to build a successful career both inside and outside of the ring?
Yeah. You want me to take it?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, you know, just to piggyback off what you guys are talking about right now, this generation, this youth, I think that I'm seeing a lack of resourcefulness, right? Both Gaston and I, we didn't come from wealthy families at all. We both had, at a very young age, had to be independent and resourceful, but we both had goals and things that we were trying to achieve that meant so much to us that we were willing to go above and beyond to make those things happen. You know, like him, he's saying, you know, he drove all the way from Palo Alto to Dublin almost every single day just so he could get his training in.
You just gotta trust the process.
Yeah, but you have to be resourceful. So my advice is like, you can't depend on anyone else. If it's just you doing the job, how are you going to get it done? Right? And so the limitations are endless. And so I encourage young people to tap into being more resourceful and figuring a way to get things done, you know, learning how to be a problem solver. Like that is huge. That's what I would say most of us, I mean, he and I were like, how are we going to get this done? Like, what are we going to do? And we always figure it out. Always make a compromise. We're like, all right, how are we going to get this done? And having that mindset of like, we're going to get this done. Let's figure out a way to do that. That's what I think this new generation needs more of.
Yeah, for me, it's like, I would say stay consistent. If you stay consistent, you'll stay resilient too. You know, like, they go hand in hand. And sometimes I feel like what I see now is like, this generation doesn't see results right away, so they move on to different things, you know. So whatever it is that you want to do, whatever your focus is, stay on that. Don't give up. There will be hard times, there will be adversity to overcome, there will be things that will happen to you, and it might not just be one, it might be two. I remember I had a period of time, 3 years, that I didn't win a fight, and you still got, and this was through COVID, also not knowing what the next fight was going to be, not knowing what was going to happen next. You just keep working and you just keep pushing, and that's the mentality you gotta have.
Yeah, and faith, right?
Yeah,
we're both faithful people, and we both pray every single day, and we believe. And you know, there has been so many blessings and things that have come over this year throughout, like even really, really tough stuff. I was dealing with some mental health stuff last year I was struggling with, and we had to continue pushing through. But like, yeah, I mean, there's power in prayer, and yeah, we believe that like things are all going to work out for us in the way that they need to.
Amen to that.
That's the ultimate edge for sure. Me and my mindset coach, we talk about it all the time.
Mindset, Mike.
If you just trust the process, if you just do what you got to do, you put your best foot forward, you know, and if you truly believe, then you'll come out the other side, and what I've been experiencing is like, I look back briefly, and I'm like, oh damn, that's what this was for, and like you understand, like, and it just allows you to keep moving forward because God has always got your back.
For sure.
Well, this isn't to discount any of the other guests I've had, but this is one of the more valuable podcasts I've had in a long time in terms of the information y'all are dropping. And I was just like, you know me, I'm going to straight editing mode, and I'm like, clip. So this is awesome, and I really appreciate you taking the time on this Wednesday afternoon, where I know you both are crazy busy. Before we get going, where can everyone find you both, and if anyone else that you want to give a shout out to, sponsors, supporters?
Yeah.
For me, it's at @dreamkiller_Bolaños on Instagram. That's the only social media I really push. But you'll be able to see I have some fight news coming soon. So
oh, great! Can't wait.
Yeah.
You can find me on Instagram at Desilu_Limon. Same with TikTok. I just launched a podcast as well on YouTube. First episode hopefully will drop sometime in September, and that is called Toughen Up with Des. So I'm really excited about that. But yeah, man, for our sponsors, Fuel Hunt, I'm always repping my guys and True Lean. So shout out to all you guys, and thank you for the support always. We appreciate it.
Well, thank you both so much. Really can't wait to hear the fight news, and I'll make sure to be an avid listener and promoting the podcast as well.
Yay. Thank you so much, Ryan.
Thank
Appreciate you.